I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. I would like to welcome to the program M_3p.exe or Meep. Hi.
Hello.
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi. As you know, I'm M_3p.exe, your local amnesiac from afar. It goes from place to place. But yes. You can also refer me as Meep.
So, an amnesiac, so you don't even know where you're from.
No. No, I do not.
Yeah, but you ended up here, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming on.
Exactly. I just pop out anywhere. So.
Yeah, well, that's true. So how are you taking to the VTuber thing so far?
I guess you could say it was a long process for me. Kind of like I went from one point to the other. Had to figure out how to make things work. Let's say from like my starting point was like being at PG at one point. Had to figure out how certain softwares worked. I also had to like look into like what stream programs and whatnot. At the time, I was like contemplating whether or not to use like Streamlabs comparison to OBS. Streamlabs kind of felt like it was using too many resources, and it was a little more too cookie cutter. And then other times I was like, I feel like OBS would be working well for me because it uses plugins and it's a lot more free source you can play around with. And a lot more easier on the PC if I were to use OBS for VTubing stuff.
Huh. Okay. All this time I don't really know too much of the difference between those two programs. So I'm glad you told me about that because it does seem like one is a cut and dry package. You're going to have to deal with what the program is, and that's it. And the other one is you can modify it a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't mean like it's like to your own tea kind of thing. It's like if you wanted to have more of a simple setup, you can use Streamlabs. They have a lot of presets, and then if you want to do like your own kind of things, you can with like plugins and whatnot. I would suggest like OBS. It gives you more freedom, but there is some problems. Like you have to do your own troubleshooting and fix it yourself, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's one of those. Here's the program. We're not going to fix it.
Exactly. So I had to have my own ways of like fixing it here and there from like the audio inputs, etc.
Yeah, it's we used to call it jury rigging in the radio business.
Jury rigging.
Yes. Yeah. If it doesn't quite work, well, we'll just kind of rubber band it together and keep going.
Oh Lord.
Little
you and me both. I would have to do that too.
We took one time at the radio station. It was an old station I worked at, and a lot of the wiring was under the floor. And one week they decided to try to clear that up, and they opened up. And there was like just spaghetti, just loads of spaghetti under there that was unused. They disconnected it, just left under the floor. Like this entire.
Oh, please tell me they were at least somewhat labeled or like color.
No, they had to pull them out.
It's a nightmare.
They had to pull them out one by one and see if they were attached to anything.
Oh no, cable. Yeah, no, manage your cables, friends. Manage your cables. Don't do that.
It was just so many of them too. Over like 50 years, they just throw another one down there and connect it. It's ridiculous, but I'm just glad that nobody broke in to steal the copper. They'd have made a lot of money off that bunch.
Honestly, they would have.
Yes. So, why did you get started with VTubing?
Me, it was kind of like, I kind of just was like, fuck it, let's go for it. Why not? Honestly, I'm kind of like that kind of person where I'm just like headstrong. I'm just like, why the hell not? I'll do it. Other people are doing it. Why the hell not? Why don't I just do it for myself? So I did.
Were you watching and enjoying it, or was it just something you caught you out of the corner of the eye?
Okay, so this might be a little controversial for some people, but I honestly just watched a lot of clips on YouTube a lot of times. I didn't really watch VTubers or streamers in general,
right?
And kind of grew from there. That seems like a little bit of like a reverse take where people usually do the opposite, where they're just like, oh, I used to watch streamers, but no, it's me. I watched YouTube video clips in here and there.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. That's why.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of us. I do that quite a bit. I mean, if I tried to watch all of the streams of all of the people that I've either interviewed or enjoyed watching, and that I wouldn't be able to at all. But this
Exactly.
that's where a good highlight clip can help you out, I think, and kind of it worked for you. I mean, really, it got you interested in the YouTubers or the VTubers from YouTube, and
Exactly.
it's marketing type deal, which uh, we may have something on in the future. So that's a little drop hint for everybody out there. Um,
Yeah, marketing and stuff is a
yeah,
lot.
yeah. There's a little bit to do to expand. Have you been able to do that? You're on. I've got links. I've got so many links for you that I've had to create more space to put the links in. So
Oh
you're
dear.
hitting everything. I mean, there I
Yeah,
could
I put myself everywhere
I
here
could
and there.
probably
But yeah.
find you on my microwave if I hit the right buttons,
Um,
and they're
so
spinning
yeah, I've been
around.
doing a lot of studying here and there for things like that, and so I kind of like spread myself a little bit just to not touch every base, but like where people can catch me in a sense.
Mm-hmm. And has that helped bring
S-
people to the channel?
Exactly. So then if I do that, people kind of like naturally come in rather than just me be blatantly like, "Hey, just watch me," kind of thing. I'm just kind of just like I'm just a dude. I'm honestly just a dude who just like to chill. That's all it is.
It's refreshing to hear that kind of take on it. Really, I'd love to hear everybody's different stories for getting in, and you're just like, yeah, I'm just gonna do it.
It really was like that. I was just like, yeah, why the hell not?
Like here's the button to blow up the world. Yeah, I'll do it.
True, true. That yeah, that sounds about.
well, I mean, with that, did you have any real expectations when you started, or just
No, I already knew I was going to start from the bottom, and it would
yeah,
take a while to even get up to a certain point.
yeah,
And I knew that I would have to like do my own thing, like such as marketing, figure out like what works, what sticks, what doesn't.
hmm
But then it gets a little too tiring if you focus too many on that. So then I was like, I'll just do my own thing and just not get shit.
yeah? Well, I mean, it's you got to strike a balance, and you still have to enjoy what you're doing. Otherwise, why are you doing it? And you're not gonna be raking in the dough in the first few months anyway. Uh,
Oh yeah, exactly.
it's if you're not enjoying yourself after a couple of months, don't put out any more money on it. Maybe do something once a week and enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah,
why I do a lot of other stuff rather than just B2B.
yeah. Wish I could do that with my job and just still get paid for it. Like,
Don't we all?
I don't really enjoy
Don't
being
we
here.
all?
I'll show up an hour a week and I'll get paid. That'll be good. Um, so what do you like to do when you are online?
I do a lot of mix of things.
Mm.
I do a lot. I guess you could say I have too many hobbies. Oh God, from like what? From both researching, doing like taking care of plants,
Mhm.
coffee, cooking. Let's see, what else is there? There's also like the fact that I do a lot of art creativities. Sometimes I do my own self projects here and there
Mm.
to create like assets for either streaming and whatnot, just for funsies.
Mm.
From like even even making concepts, sketching, a lot of things. I do too many, as you can tell. I do way too much.
I don't know about that. I mean, if you're enjoying yourself and you're doing it with the content, it's not, I don't think that's way too much at all. As long as you're enjoying it and the people are enjoying it with you.
Oh yeah, I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I say my hobbies take over too much to the point where I forget what I'm doing.
But that also means that also will break down the barriers between you and the chat and kind of set they're you're bringing them into your life and to share that with you and sometimes I imagine they'll appreciate that little sort of more personal type of experience.
Yeah, I'd rather being like what? Sometimes, yeah, you can have the immersion and be like, yeah, you can play this character, but in
Yeah,
reality, I just like chilling and just talking about my day and stuff
yeah.
for funsies.
So tell me about it. What are you doing with plants?
Um, I usually keep a lot of houseplants for myself.
Uh-huh.
I take care of them from like what? From like sometimes either like hanging trees or like there's bamboo trees, like mostly trees. I'm taking care of mostly trees.
Mm,
The current season is not good for um household plants because the weather is not so great
right.
where I'm at.
Yeah. Yeah, we're in. I'm in the middle of Illinois right now, and we've just been tail whipped between 0 and 65 degrees in the last week. So
Yeah.
if we tried to put even a tomato plant outside, it would have been gone. But raccoons would have taken it anyway. But um, it's kind of tough to do sometimes. You kind of cultivate your trees inside.
Sometimes I do. The
Mm,
reason why is because like they're morely indoor tree kind of thing, not outdoor. But they
yeah,
can go outside if they need be
yeah,
for like either oxygen or fresh air.
yeah. Is
Because
it?
again, you can't just keep them inside or they
Yeah.
won't survive.
Oh, that and some of them probably need a little space after a while.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't want to keep a redwood inside for its entire life unless you've got a really
No.
big building.
Yeah, you would have to invest a fortune just to like make sure to keep that upkeep good.
Oh yeah, and a time machine to keep it going.
Hmm.
The I all that the ecology type stuff is absolutely well out of my ballpark. I cannot grow anything to save my life. So, and I certainly can't grow it to save its life because it dies very quickly. Um, so was that something that you've always been interested in?
I guess you can say it kind of grew into a natural hobby. I kind of got interested after a little while ago. I was like, I'm not really doing anything, but these plants kind of look pretty. And so I picked up another hobby of taking care of plants.
just just don't go to like one of these hobby stores. This
Look,
looks
man,
funny.
I've done a whole bunch of hobbies. I've done like what painting. I've made
Mm,
my own figurines here and there. I've even done like like thought about doing 3D modeling, even
mm.
so much more.
You're one of
There's
those.
photography in that boat too. Like man, I threw so much money into random things for art supplies.
You're one of those really talented creative guys, aren't you?
No, I wish I was, but no, I'm absolutely not.
But you're doing all this stuff.
I like to create, yes, that is correct. But the downside is I like to create too much.
Nah, I don't know. I don't know. I think that as long as you're able to express yourself and enjoy it, is it when you get involved in these things, is it an expressive type of situation where you're taking another outlet to express yourself, or is it more just curiosity?
I'd say it's more curiosity, and I'm kind of just like, this looks neat.
Hmm.
I wonder how this works. And then I kind of break it down, and then I'm like, oh, that's how it works and functions. And that's why I like to observe and research my topics quite often.
Hmm. And then,
I even went as far as like doing almost DIY stuff, so here and there.
well, that's I wish I could do some
Oh
DIY
yeah, I
stuff.
was going down the rabbit hole of like maybe making my own furniture. I was like, maybe I'll do that
Wow,
next as my next
wow.
creative projects.
I'm not going to say you're taking commissions on it or anything, but so hey, if you want 8 redact chairs, no, no, the delivery alone would be
Okay.
too much. But the I find it interesting how many hobbies you're able to do, and it does tell me that you have a lot of, if not innate talent, the ability to learn these things, which is just as good. I would think you have the talent for learning these things.
Do I have talent? I didn't really think about that. It was more like things kind of interest me and I kind of just like pick it up in a sense where I'm
Hmm.
just like I get curious enough to do my own research
Yeah.
and learn on my own rather than just like, hey, I'm gonna butt heads and just like smash it against the wall kind of thing.
Well, that's not a very good hobby.
No.
Don't do that one.
No,
The
no.
the
Yeah, no. I
art
usually try to go from the ground up. That's why.
with the artist, the straight up artistic expression, the painting and such. Was that something you started early, or is that another thing that you picked up along the way?
I guess you can say I did start a little early and then I got for here and there.
Mm-hmm.
I usually started drawing when I was young,
Mm-hmm.
like with pencils, pens, and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of like the idea of like adding some color.
Mm-hmm.
And then I added a bit of ink. Like, I guess you can say I kind of broke slash smashed pens at one point just to get the ink out of the cartridges to paint with those.
some folks were listening. What I think it's brilliant.
Okay, like listen, if you get like a cheap ball pen, they
Yeah,
have a good amount of ink on them, and
yeah.
if you somehow break it properly, you probably could get a lot of ink that you can play around with.
I think that is, you know, talk about MacGyvering a situation there. You just you find any way to do this, to do it, and then you end up doing it. That's I wish I had that type of trait. I don't have the ingenuity to come up with this sort of thing. Uh, so you self taught yourself.
For a lot of stuff, yes, I have self-taught. I've been also formally taught certain other aspects here and there.
Mm, yeah, I was taught early on to not do it. Do not create art. You're not good at this.
I stopped having that kind of mindset. I'm just like, fuck it, I'll have fun.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Well, with that, too, you said cooking as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um, so the TLDR is I was formerly a chef,
oh,
specifically a culinary student.
whoa, wow. Well, yeah. Okay, that
Okay.
explains that. Yes. Mm, yes.
Yes, I've had a huge passion for food for quite a while. I've
Mm,
actually looked into actually various dishes from other cultures,
mm,
certain heritages such as like the Philippines and whatnot,
mm,
and family cooking here and there
mm. Yeah, there's
were one of my big inspirations for that kind of thing.
yeah. At this age now, I'm pushing 60 this year. The the amount of things that I denied myself trying over the years is coming back to haunt me. I mean, I'm trying some things, that little bit of different things here and there, yeah, a little bit of different culture rather than hamburger and fries, and it's pretty darn good. A lot of it is, and then tell people, you're kind of limiting yourself if you don't at least give it a shot. I mean, maybe you don't want so much curry that your mouth explodes, but maybe a little bit just to taste it. Um,
Yeah, exactly. You don't necessarily need to have too much,
mm,
but you can try a little bit to see what you go from there.
yeah, and it,
Sometimes it could be bitter, other times it can be sweet. That's what I love about cooking. You
yeah.
can learn more about everything from
Oh,
just like small changes here and there.
yeah, and you could tinker around with it, and I really do enjoy the more cooking things we see on VTubing with people coming on and trying things. This is the type of stuff that I think should be right in a wheelhouse of somebody on Twitch, um, because you're gonna get feedback right away for what you're doing, um, from chat, whether it's good or bad. No,
Oh yeah. No, no. I'm not doing cooking on Twitch anytime soon.
oh
That's for
really?
sure.
No, I would think that would be interesting. I think.
That would be fun, but the
Yeah.
logistics of like how to set it up is a nightmare.
Well, that is true. That is true. Setting it up is something different. Have you done art streams?
Yeah, I've done a lot of art streams.
Well,
But mostly digital art. I
mm,
haven't thought about doing too many of like the traditional art quite yet because I have
yeah,
to figure out how I would set a canvas up and whatnot if I
yeah,
were to use like a painting.
yeah. You have to set that
So far, the
where to put the
furthest I've gotten
cameras and
was
all
like
that.
pencil and pen on a
Yeah,
sketchbook.
yeah.
Yeah,
Or where to set up the
paper.
cameras and how to make sure you that people don't see too much. That would be a
Yeah, that's
little
true.
off-putting. But the have you gotten any backseat artists?
Not really. I'm gonna be real with you. No one really backseats me. If anything, they kind of just like, huh, you can do it like that. I didn't think you could do it like that. I'm like, yeah,
Well, that's the thing about being self-taught, isn't it? You find a way to do it. You learn a way to do it that's not necessarily by the book, but it suits you.
yeah. I'm also one of those crazy people who have a tendency of doing a certain technique that most people would call insane.
Yeah. Well, it
Uh,
does it get the job done?
it does.
Well, then,
It takes a while though. I
yeah.
will say that you probably should never do whatever I do in art wise. You'll understand why I'm considered the crazy one.
You use the Marx Brothers method.
Uh,
Whatever sticks, it goes. Yes.
It sticks for me. It works for me, but not for you. There's the difference here.
So when you are online, are what time? What are you usually streaming? And what are your interests?
I guess you can say I'm a variety type streamer. I don't really stick to just anything at the time.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I say that is because again, I kind of like exploring different things.
Mm-hmm.
I could probably be like playing a new game that came out, or I can play some new indie game that some developer has. I like supporting like either smaller indie devs and developments because again, you get to see a different light of how games are developed or things like that. Other times I just like having like casual conversations. It could be something not so much mundane, but rather some fun little like quiz, tier list, etc. or
Mm-hmm.
some like random topics that we can just brain rot about, like maybe watch a couple YouTube videos or TikToks and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
just to get like a not so much a reaction, but a little bit of a chat for
Yeah.
fun. Or I can even do an art stream, as I usually do, every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of just make my own process, start from like the beginning, and then end at a midpoint where I'm just like, how did that happen, kind of thing. And I'm like, I don't even know, man. I just kind of let the brush take the wheel.
It ended up being a donkey riding a horse. I don't know how that happened. It just came up that way. Uh, the
Mhm.
the so it's it's like a comfort stream.
I guess you could also say that.
You know, comfort comfort for
Because
you too.
mhm.
Yeah. It, it,
One of the reasons why I guess you can also say I started streaming was also because like it felt like sometimes people want a bit of an escape
mm,
from like either places that they were feeling. It could be from some harsh things that they were going through, or like they just wanted something to go play around with,
yeah.
like time wise. And
Well.
that's one of the goals. I kind of that's why I kind of just like had the emphasis of just like I'm just chilling. I mean, maybe I do something goofy or stupid,
Mm,
that kind of thing.
yeah. There's a lot of folks who I talk to who do this to kind of expand um, what they can't do in real life. Kind of be more themselves online than they can in real life. For you, it seems to me that you are just extending what you already do.
Yeah, I just genuinely don't want people to think I'm just doing this just because I want a job, or like
Yeah.
for people to think like I want this to be like a whole career kind of thing.
Mm,
It's not. I'd rather not be a career. If anything, I'd
mm,
like it to be something that people can just chillax and like have fun,
yeah.
genuine fun, rather than just doing something stupid. Like, oh hey, I'm here for clout. Oh, this
Yeah.
guy's doing so and so or whatever. I'm like, I think that gets tiring, and then you think about numbers, and I hate that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's again. There are folks who want to do that, and there's ways to go about it, but it would be to me something like that would become a job very quickly, and
Exactly.
and
I'd rather it not feel like a job.
yeah, and I know people who are very very talented in many different things, and they get started on a project, and if usually it's an art project or something like that, and something they've tried new and it turns out really good, and then all the relatives want a copy of it and they start taking orders for it, and, and then it becomes I have to get 5 of them out by next week. I hate doing this. Um,
Uh,
Deadlines. Is that something you try to avoid as much as possible, even though there's commissions and stuff we'll talk about, but um,
um,
is that anathema for you?
I guess you can say it kinda.
Mm.
It does feel like something I would do in a sense.
Yeah, and
uh,
it's just that have not having that restriction or feeling that you have that restriction gives you the freedom to enjoy it.
exactly.
Mm,
As soon as money starts getting involved, things like that, it becomes less enjoyable.
yeah,
And that's something I really would wish wasn't always the incentive for like streaming and whatnot.
yeah, yeah. Well, it is for some, and for others, it's that escape for them and the people involved. Once you got started and people started tuning in, when did it kind of hit you that you were becoming the go-to for other people to enjoy themselves?
Mm, for me,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I was that kind of thing for the go-to for some people.
Mm,
Sometimes people just kind of come in naturally and just like, hey, this guy seems pretty chill.
mm-hmm.
Or they get introduced from other friends that I've either collabed with or talked to here and
Mm,
there.
yeah, yeah, but
So they kind of stick around if they want to. I
yeah,
don't mind, nor
yeah, yeah.
that kind of thing.
Well, once they get there, do you start feeling a kind of a responsibility for doing something that they'll enjoy rather than what you enjoy?
Mm, I kind of take it both ways.
Mm,
I'd rather have we both enjoy it rather than nobody enjoy it, kind
yeah,
of thing.
yeah. No, yeah, that's what I would do on the stream. I would have stuff that I don't like and nobody else likes either. Is it
Or
possible to
other
have?
times I'm kind of headstrong.
I don't
I'm
think
just
any.
like, I'll go for it.
That's
It's
right.
for me, not for you. I'll
Yeah,
do this. I'll do this option. You
yes.
can't tell me what to do.
I
I'll
could
go
be
and do it.
I could be the first VTuber with negative people watching. I'll just shut the screen off so I won't even watch it. Just terrible content. Just, everybody can compare it to mine and make themselves feel good. I've come upon a real good marketing plan. I'm gonna have to run that one past my wife so she can yell at me. Um, the so is there really a plan for you in this channel right now, other than just continuing to enjoy yourself?
There are plans here and there.
Mm,
I have some other ones where I'm just kind of keeping a lot of projects in the background. I've been giving hints here and there, but like again, I'd rather keep majority of those projects kind of on the down low for a bit because like
ah,
again, not all of them are going to be complete this year, given of how workflow is.
yeah, yeah. How does real life interfere with what you're doing, and how would you like to be more consistent or be able to do this more?
Uh, hmm. I guess you can say a good portion of my day is gone because I do obviously work because
Mm-hmm.
I can't do VTubing not
Yeah, that's true.
uh and then I have to find I guess you could say not so much time but rather I use that time that I have for the rest of the day I guess rather it's night for time it's mostly night times what I usually stream
Mm-hmm.
for that time period instead and
With
then I figure out other plans and other things and then work on things later at night.
with those late streaming times, where is your audience mainly from? Do you know?
It varies actually.
Mm,
The reason why I say it varies is because sometimes I get people from the UK just staying up from like what the breakneck of dawn,
oh
or other
yeah,
people like the European sides just up and at them for no reason.
yeah,
But majority of them are from the US
mm,
for viewership,
yeah.
and then there's a small portion that come from Canada.
Mm, yes. Well, it's funny because my schedule works out. Well, I work in the evenings in Central Time in the United States, and I'm free to do interviews at noon Central Time, which is really good for folks in Europe, because it's usually like 6, 7 o'clock in the evening for them, and midnight, which is good for folks in the Far East, what we used to call the Far East back in the 1800s. Um, then in that area because it's in the nighttime for them. The one time I don't have a good time for is people in the United States. have to work
Uh,
around to get people from here to come on the show.
yeah, that sounds about right.
But it's also a good thing I have no sleep schedules. That works out too. Um, so would you like to do more a week, or are you pretty satisfied with what you're able to do now online?
Let's see. I usually do a lot online already, so then the plan is if I were to do more projects, I'd have to lessen my streaming, unfortunately,
Hmm.
is the problem.
Well, yeah, you
Because
like
if
to,
I take bigger projects or
yeah,
take focus on those, I would have to take away those times.
yeah. Well, you like to research and prepare these things, so
Exactly.
it would be more like kind of homework before you got up online. Has that gotten in the way
That's
of
another.
Has that gotten in the
Yeah,
way of
that
things
sounds about
sometimes?
right.
Have you had to keep yourself from doing things because you get too involved in the preparations?
Mm, here and there, actually, I get a little too interested in, let's say, one type of topic. So then I get to the point where I start making notes about certain parts of it, or I
Mm.
start getting a little too like interested to the point where I'm like, I'm gonna keep going at it for about maybe 3 to 5 hours after.
Suddenly the entire internet opens up for more research at that point.
Yeah, I do too much when it comes to that type of thing.
Well, yeah, but that's it's what you enjoy, isn't it?
Yeah, it does. It is. It really is.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with searching up. I used to do that with baseball statistics all the time because was I really loved baseball, not so much these days, but back when they actually played baseball, I would, you know, if you asked me who the starting lineup was of the 1974 Cubs, I could give it to you. Um, but or now with any types of, other types of sports or professional wrestling or internet type stuff, um, as long as it all comes back to enjoying yourself, you're not hurting anybody else, you're not hurting yourself.
Yeah, we'll say that.
Yeah, and
The
it
only thing that's hurting me is my sleep schedule.
well, yeah, well, wait till you're much older. Your sleep schedule
Oh,
will
Lord.
catch you.
Yeah, no, I'm already starting to feel that.
Yeah, there's you get to the point where the word nap isn't a four-letter word anymore.
It's not a four-letter word.
No, no, no. When you're in your 20s, early 20s, at least I was, it's like nap, psh, none of that stuff. Then you get about 40, and like, that sounds pretty good. Why doesn't everybody take one in the middle of the day? Um, Go back to kindergarten again and start over. The Has it been an education for you getting involved in and kind of mingling a little bit with people that you don't know on the other side of the planet?
I guess you can say it's kind of a double-edged sword.
Mm.
Sometimes you meet incredible people that you've thought about.
Mm-hmm.
Other times you've met people that may not be on the best side of things.
Mm-hmm. True.
Or it might be somewhere split in the middle where you thought they were good and then they might have not been after the fact.
Mm. Does that keep you from kind of reaching out sometimes for to try to get collaborations and such?
I guess you can say it kind of did impact me a little bit here and there,
Mm-hmm.
but however, I wouldn't say like not reaching out. It's more like I've been kind of in my own bubble right now
Mm-hmm.
for a good reason because like again, I've been trying to slow down because a while back I used to do about maybe like give or take 3 to 5 collabs a week
Oh,
for about give or take 3 to 4 months.
wow. I mean, that's a lot of interaction there with other folks, and
So yeah, now you can see why I've been trying to slow myself down here and
yeah,
there. So
yeah,
that's why I get maybe what I try to make myself do, like maybe one or two
yeah. I mean, it might
a
be
week.
kind of fun for a while, but how did that how did that help grow your own channel?
Oh, it did. It did actually help grow a lot,
Uh,
actually. So people don't like this way of me, like I wouldn't say referencing it, but rather it is a true statement. The more you kind of have interactions with other people's streamers, for collaborations here and there,
mm,
it has a tendency of doing a mutual benefit.
mm,
One, both you and your community will meet someone new,
right.
and B, it'll also technically incentivize others that are in the collab to follow said person if they take interest in you.
That is true. Yeah, that is true. And
And so that's what people don't quite understand is the fact that sometimes they don't mesh well.
right.
And then in fact it does the opposite and they start unfollowing you
Yeah,
instead.
yeah. Well, that sometimes that's just nobody's fault. It just doesn't work. Um,
Yeah, it doesn't work all the time. But
yeah.
yeah.
I don't think there's some that you can watch it in a movie where a star and a co-star should work, but it doesn't work at all, and the movie really is terrible. But sometimes the personalities just don't fit. You can be just fine with them, chatting with them, but doing a show with them, not so.
Mm-mm.
That's so.
Hmm, hmm.
And how much of it is a show for you, or is it just a sit down session and having fun with it, or are you putting on a performance?
Let's see. So before I get into that, I'm also going to clarify this too. I usually do one of the pre-etiquette things of like straight up researching who I'm collabing with.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't expect that. Then
Um,
because you talked about researching things, and I would expect that you would be doing that too.
so yes, okay. So most people don't realize this, but when you're collabing with someone, you have to at least double check a lot of factors here and there. For me, I'm no different,
Mm-hmm.
and so like I'm gonna clarify. The reason why I do this is because a while back I didn't have so great interactions here and there, and I found out they were not so great.
Mm-hmm.
So then I had to do like a double take of double checking if said person is all right to be with stream wise. And I kind of like peep on their streams or like look at their socials here and there or do my own research on
Yeah,
said person
yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah. Oh,
Or I even have like interactions
yeah.
offline before I even go there,
Oh, yeah,
kind of like
absolutely.
either hang out or like even talking a bit.
Yeah,
Because again, not every collab has to be set in stone. Sometimes I kind of just do things on the spot too.
yeah, yeah.
I'm just like, and then I vibe.
Yeah. Then you just have to
Have fun.
hang. You have to deal with the cards that you got at that particular point and react from
Exactly.
there. You folks, you ought to have
I
seen all the research Meep did on me. I mean, this stack of papers that I got that I had to fill out just to do this interview. It was amazing. L- Luckily, my credit rating is only single digits, so that was easy to reference.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I did my fair share of research on YouTube. Don't you worry.
Well, if
I
you
may or may not have listened to a couple of your episodes here and there. I'm not going to clarify which episodes I watched or
like, hey,
listened to.
hey, I'm just happy that you did that. It's one of the great things about doing this is being able to talk with people from different backgrounds and different reasons and different talents, and finding out the who's, where's, and whys, because it's all so different, and
Exactly.
we have that chance now to expand ourselves and introduce ourselves and meet other people like this, and I think we should take advantage of it. Sounds like with your
Mhm.
collabs, you definitely did that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I do too. As you can tell, I do a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah.
The extra mile, just a little bit. Okay.
No, no, I'm just teasing you with that. But
I know you're decent.
but still, I mean, people have to realize that you are you are taking people who are trusting you and your content somewhere else, and that may, just rub them the wrong way, one way or another, and change their opinion of you. Why are you collaborating in this part of thing? And also you take into consideration the other person too, their audience. Um, you could end up with a nice mulligan stew, or you could end up with corrosive acid. You don't know how it's going to mix, uh, and it does take some to make sure that you can, as much as possible, do some research, and that's brain food there. That's people should be doing that as much as they can, unless they get paid. In which case, just go ahead and do it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, money's good.
Money is always good.
Well, it's also really good to be able to talk with you and chat with you for a while here, Meep. And folks, we're going to have all of these links. There's so much stuff. We haven't even started about commissions, because you do take commissions, right?
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah, we're going to have that link up there in the descriptions as well. So please check out what this extremely talented person, no matter what they say, extremely talented person. Don't listen to him.
I'm not talented, I swear.
Don't listen to them. They don't know what they're talking about. Just check out what Meep's got going on. And again, I let me know if you got some stuff in the future so we can keep people updated in it. Okay.
Of course, we'll do.
Thanks so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.